Hey, what's up guys, Louise here, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since I've said those words. 2.5 months in fact. That is the longest I've gone without making a video in my whole 3 years on YouTube. But I'm now back and I'm happy and I'm going to try and explain why. So in the last 2.5 months I entered possibly one of the worst depressive spells I've had in a very long time. I couldn't see the light, I couldn't see a way out of where I was. I lost all sense of hope, I lost all sense of faith. I felt so isolated and alone, and if I'm being perfectly honest, didn't quite see the point of living anymore. But within the past 5 days, things have turned themselves around. Everything isn't perfect, everything isn't just gonna suddenly change, but I am seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and I can sit in front of this camera and not feel that it's pointless or worthless and that I'm only making it because I feel obligated to. I wrote a blog sort of explaining this last week, the week before last, I can't remember. I've lost track of days and I don't really want to remember because I was in an awful place. And the reason I stopped making videos and I stopped tweeting so much and I stopped making an effort and I stopped believing and all these things that I absolutely love to do were just, I had lost hope in everything. I was at a meeting a little while ago and it was all about hope, and they were talking about that you've got to hang on to hope, and at that point I didn't have any, but I went along with them and like yeah I've still got a hope that I'll get a job, that I'll get a house, that I'll have money. But I didn't. I really didn't, and I was struggling to believe in a God and believe in Jesus and believe that I'm loved and forgiven and saved. I was struggling to believe that people actually cared about me, that people actually love me, and people want to help me. I'm not very good for asking for help, but in this dark 2.5 months I've had to ask for help, which was so difficult. Within these past 2.5 months I have never cried so much in my life, ever. And I've cried a lot. I don't know if I ever told you this, but there was a week in my first year at uni where I cried every day for a week. But I've cried even more than that. To one of my sister's houses over half term and we watched Les Mis the film. Les Mis the film always makes me cry, so does the theatre show. But Les Mis the film even more. But because I had cried so much, I had no tears left to cry. My body wanted to cry, my eyes were trying to cry, but there was nothing left. That is how much I had cried. I had no emotion left to give, which is awful. In all honesty, it's awful sitting there on that sofa with my sister being unable to cry, and she was like, "Oh Louise, you're gonna cry," and I didn't. I couldn't, which sucked big time. But then I left hers and I was able to cry again and it was all good, and you know, tears are good. Don't be ashamed to cry. That's my moral here. I'm sitting in front of you today because my life is okay. My room is a tip though, you might be able to see around me because I couldn't be bothered to sort it out. Because that's what's happened. When up here is a mess, everything around me becomes a mess. Like, legit, it's a tip. I've lived in worse when everything was a lot worse in my life. But tomorrow I'll crack on and sort my life out, I hope. As long as once I've uploaded this my life doesn't turn to pot, then that would be so ironic, wouldn't it? The moral of this video is this. I'm back. I'm happy. I have a renewed hope in life. I have a renewed faith in Jesus. I have a renewed faith in those around me and that I know they love me and they want to help me, and I just have to ask for it, which I'll never be very good at doing. Hopefully I can get back to making videos on a semi-regular basis and just see where this takes me, whether it's going to be a journey more for me or for you, the viewer, because I've been making videos for 3 years now and I can't seem to figure out what you want and what I want without it feeling like a chore, because that's what YouTube became. It became a chore. It's like, Louise, you've got to sit down and film a video, and I don't want it to become a chore because that's not fun for any of us. So that's it for this video. I hope you understand my musings and ramblings, and I will hopefully see you very soon.